big, storm system, we were talking about that. In a big storm situation, emergency situation, communications is vital.
Right.
But yeah, we monitor these weather conditions.
Well, and two, I mean, you did bring this storm kit in, and I'm having, for some reason, my doc sheet isn't opening today, which is completely okay because, all of this is so important. And, being prepared, like you said, and having that communication has got to be just essential for families, too, to make sure that they're safe when anything could happen at a moment's notice. So what did you exactly bring with you today?
You know what? I brought a boatload of stuff, but
There's an absolute bucket load behind her.
But I only wanted to set a few things out just as a display. But I like to remind our customers, in being prepared for emergencies, there are some things you may not think about. Water. I mean, just some good old H2O. It's one of the most important things to have. We suggest having a couple of gallons on hand, basically, for each person. Have some for the puppy, have plenty of water. If nothing else liquid to drink, have your water. Have a blanket. A blanket is important, because it just depends. I mean, storms don't always occur in the middle of the summer.
Right.
Have some battery operated lights, some type flashlights. I have this really cool LED light, lantern, but have them make sure the batteries
that sucker
work.
Is bright.
It's an LED light, of course.
Oh, reminds me of those car lights.
Yeah, have some things like that. Have some cash on hand, CJ. We tell our customers always have some cash on hand because guess what? If the power's out, the ATMs are probably not going to be working. The banks are not going to be in service.
Yeah. Well, and how much cash on hand anymore do you guys recommend, do you think?
Well, I do, and because I have a storm kit as well as at my house, so I have lots of small bills in there. I keep loose change. It just depends. I mean, a good rule of thumb is if you can have $20 plus. Let's say you need a bag of ice, or heaven forbid you didn't fuel your vehicle ahead of the storm,
right?
And now all of a sudden you're going to the local filling station or the convenience store with a gas station. The good news is they're most likely going to have a generator, which is fantastic, but most likely the internet is going to be down. So in order for you to make any sort of a transaction, you're going to need cash. So the smaller the bills, the better. But if you have the ability to keep, $25, $30 on hand, it's probably a good rule of thumb.
Well, and on top of that too, I'm sure, I hate to say it, but what happens if we're driving home and the storm breaks out? Should we have something like this in our car? I mean, what's that look like? If we can compact this down, should we have the same exact kit in our vehicle? Should it be anything? Can we take anything out of it, or should it all be right back, duplicated almost?
Well, I'm going to say that I keep a safety kit in my car. There are storm boots in it, of course. Well, I work storm duty, but a storm kit, a blanket, some non-perishable food items, water for sure. Even a tool, work gloves. Keep all of that in your car as well, because you never know. Like you said, we could be driving home from work.
Well, and that's just such an important thing to talk about, because you never know whenever especially if it's tornado season, where those suckers are going to turn. And what are we pulling out of there now?
Okay, I'm not going to blow it, but I'm not going to blow it in here. But I mean, it's important to have one of these in your car and your home. It's a signal horn.
I have an Italian family, hon. We don't need one of those. So
but yeah, my family's pretty loud too. But anyway, have one in your car, in your safety kit in your home, because what if you're buried?
Well, and that's a big thing. And see, that's what I wanted to ask too. What does Ameren recommend? I know we always say like the basement and all of that, but or get away from windows, or where is the safest point? Because that's where I always find myself a little bit fearful is, being buried underneath rubble. You see those photos and videos of folks in Tornado Alley, and that's kind of alarming.
So you're lucky because you're in the basement right now. So and for anybody who has a basement, obviously that is the safest place to go in buildings. A lot of times you want to go into, say, the stairwell, because those are always, at least in my opinion, watching any construction site, are the very first things that are constructed. So they have a lot of concrete, and there are places that are safe. For people who don't have, a basement, I've actually been in a situation with my wife before. We were at a wedding in southern Missouri, and we were staying at a hotel on the first floor, and sirens were going off, and they were telling everybody to go in the hallway, and they wanted people to sit out front. Well, there was glass windows everywhere. So what I did is I just took the bedspread off the bed, and we laid in the tub and laid down, and then we covered ourselves with the blanket and waited, because we were below anything, and we're going to use the towel to help protect ourselves. So you just got to know your situation. In most homes, it would be the bathroom. But if you know a storm is coming and you don't have a basement, it might be good to call family and friends and just get yourself out of harm's way and go stay in a basement.
How does Ameren communicate during times of destruction? If truly like the worst case scenario comes in and you have a widespread storm that causes severe damage, do you guys have a pretty good emergency response and communication base with your customers?
I would let Paula take that. Just kind of walk them through what your particular role is, and when you talk to critical customers and local officials.
So you stepped right on my toe, CJ. I'm the community relations liaison with all of our critical infrastructure, our community leaders, legislators, our key account people. I go out, I speak with customers. I start calling them before the storm actually hits. Really? And I let them know, hey, Ameren's prepared. If this storm hits like it says it's going to hit, and it impacts our communities, then you've got my number. I also collaborate with our emergency management services, the Illinois emergency, the IEMA group, each emergency management group in each community. So communication that's number one in these situations. Safety is number one, and then I'm going to say communication.
So when you're is it like, we like almost one of those like West Wing episodes where like they're kind of huddled up and you guys are kind of on the phone going, hey, we are ready for this, or we're prepared. Is that kind of what it looks like in a way?
Well, first, there's me.
Yeah.
There's me. There's a group of me. There are a number of other people with my title around the our service territory. So we make the first outreach and just let them know we're ready. But when you say huddled up in a room, you're talking about our war room.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll let Brian go more on that, because he's like chomping at the bit.
He is.
This is exciting stuff. I'm telling you.
No. It's not about what I do in this role. But the other thing that she does, CJ, that's really interesting and important to your viewers and whoever's listening, is that Paula at sometimes would be with the folks from St. Clair County or with Madison County in terms of them having their own war room. Talk about how you're actually boots on the ground and you're communicating on the phone, and so she's there with the key stakeholders.
So I talk to them prior to an event, and then once the event hits, then I'm boots on the ground for sure. That's not just a line dance. I am boots on the ground. I go out with our, as Brian just stated, with our emergency managers, and I don't know if you've seen the big mobile units that they have or not, but I have a seat on those. Wow. And on Madison County with Fred Patterson, St. Clair County with Herb Sim, I have a seat on those mobile units.
He's
and I love Herb. I've worked with him for years. And, he wants to know. He's like, Paula, can you call operations and see this? So I'm that liaison. And whatever they need to know, I'm going to get them the information from the Ameren, Illinois folks.
Well, okay. And see, that's really, I think, just so fascinating about this whole thing is because, we get grumpy when our power goes out, but it sounds exciting, but when you're in times of, it's exciting now to talk about it, but when you're in the moment and you're, dealing with an F3 that just rips through, any sector, look what happened to Edwardsville and how quickly you guys had to just assemble and get things going because that was a major infrastructure crisis. That's got to be, you have to be so calm and really just trained to handle those circumstances, I would have to imagine.
Absolutely. Whether it's us or, the people who have the critical job of putting the infrastructure back up into the air. So in that case, with the tornadoes that came through Edwardsville, Paula, talk a little bit about, and then we can talk about restoration in a second, but talk again about the importance of, I mean, CJ, if you ever need to get in touch with a mayor, she's the person.
Do I need to look at your cell phone, Paula?
It's top secret.
I mean, seriously, that's another critical role.
It is.
Mean, how many of the mayors actually reach out to Paula first to figure out what's going on?
Actually, at the height of the storm, I'm getting calls from mayors. I have mayors. I have all of their cell phone numbers in my phone because I can't get them at the office, of course. Right. So, we're normally at dinner or something when these situations occur. But I speak with each community leader, whether it's the city manager, the mayor, whoever I have a direct contact with. They have my number. I don't just have their number, but they have my number as well.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I got to know about this war room.
Doesn't it sound intriguing?
So the war room can be a very interesting place. So we will have, and it just depends on where the eye of the storm is. So we've been changing our model and getting smarter and smarter with every storm. It used to be we would set up a war room in Decatur, and they would do everything from logistics to, hey, you need to be on circuit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this community, and you need to be on this circuit in this community here. Well, what we've done recently with the storms is we've kind of regionalized that. So if there's one here in the Riverbend area, we may just set up an incident command center right here and have the war room either in, say, Alton, where we have one of our operating centers, or in Maryville here in the Madison County area. And in that war room, you will have engineers, you will have operations folks, you will have Paula if she's available, or if she's in talking with the mayors. And what that war room is, it's designed to, we first determine the scope of the damage. Somebody will be dedicated to calling in extra resources. Somebody will be dedicated, hey, we need to bring in a mobile substation. We need somebody, if it's going to be a multi-day event, we need one person dedicated to getting food for everybody who's working. We need somebody who's dedicated to getting hotel rooms for everybody who's here. We need somebody who's dedicated if people are going to have laundry done. So it really almost becomes like a little mini military operation.
Brian, don't forget our storm trailer.
Yeah, yes, correct.
We also, in our incident command center, we talk about where that storm trailer is going to be strategically located. And when I say a storm trailer, I'm talking a mobile warehouse of all the tools that would be needed to restore a community, basically.
Well, that is so fascinating. I mean, because to me, it just shows the operation of you guys. I mean, truly, to be able to sit there and have this where, I mean, you're basically StratCom, and then you bring out a mobile warehouse to have, I'm sure it has jaws of life and power tools on, or some type of cutting device on there to get through things. But it has things you need to get through the day. And that's what I find fascinating, to really get the community back up and running as quickly as possible.
I like to think of it almost as a beacon.
Yeah.
So if you're an outside person, even if you're coming from another part of the state of Illinois, or maybe we're in the Riverbend area and you're coming from our Belleville operating center, you really don't know the lay of the land in the Riverbend area because you don't work there. So what we do is we work with an area like a local Walmart or a big box store, and we say, hey, can we take up a portion of your parking lot? Then we'll call in security. We'll have somebody there to monitor all of the equipment and the trailer while it's there. And then that becomes, like I said, that beacon. So instead of trying to figure out where where Oakwood is here in Alton, where is our operating center, we just say, plug in your GPS, go to this big box store, wherever we're using it. Then they say this big trailer. And then the trailer is designed to have enough components in it to restore roughly, I think it's like 1,000 customers, but it's designed that more than 200 individuals can go in and get the necessary supplies that they need. We have cross arms underneath, and just tons and tons of stuff.
So what is the biggest storm that you two have had to face?
We've had some big ones over the years.
I mean, for me, it's easy, and it's one that kind of helped us change the way we look at storms, and that was the one kind of at the end of, the summer of 2006. It was the one where it was July 19th and 21st. I remember that like it was yesterday. We had a storm that blew in from the east on the 19th and took down, we had more than 1 million customers out on both sides of the river.
Oh, my God.
And we did tremendous work in getting people restored within the first day and a half, and then we had a second storm blow in on the 21st from the opposite direction. And what happened was we had additional customers down, but a lot of what was originally put back up in the air was blown down again. And I'm talking, I just remember specifically driving on, I think it's 162 in Glen Carbon, and the amount of poles that were down along that stretch was something I'd never seen in my entire career. So that for me, but that's what really helped us change the way we do things logistically. We really made our tree trimming more robust after that storm. We already had a good tree trimming program, but we really, added more money to the budget, and that was the game changer for me.
You know what? My first huge storm that I remember, and again, I mentioned that I'm one of a team of 6. There's one of me in each region across our service territory. So if it's something really huge, we go and support our counterparts, our teammates in other areas. So I remember a storm came through Carbondale, the Marion area. That was the inland hurricane, I believe it was called.
The derecho is what they invented.
Derecho, yes. And I remember that, and there was mass destruction, yes, across the whole area. So I remember that, and building up to subsequent storms, I think that's what's changed our processes and improved our processes even.
Wow. It's just fascinating. You guys got a moment to stick around?
Absolutely.
Sure.
We'll pay a quick bill. Hey, we'll come back with more Daily Show at 9:21, a little bit of change. More Daily Show on this Tuesday morning, right after this in the heart of the 618.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor, Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget. His economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Oh, always. I'm a big Jeff Lynne guy. Big Jeff Lynne guy. He was just in St. Louis, worth every bit of the money. Ah, great. Sorry, ELO talking. Welcome back, Daily Show. 9:25, a little bit of change on this Tuesday morning. Back with Paula. It is Tuesday, isn't it?
It is.
This election has just got me kind of 6 ways to Sunday. Paula and Brian back in studio. We're talking storm preparedness, and also just a little bit about what Ameren does to go above and beyond during emergency scenarios. And Paula, we were talking a little bit about some of the storm kit. You have a ton of other things in there. But really, when it comes down to the necessities, let's just kind of go back to basics. What does Ameren Illinois really represent and ask of folks to do in terms of those emergency situations? How do we get prepared? The kind of general, 10-step, program for us to kind of go by, if you will.
Well, as we've been talking about the past few minutes, having that storm kit in place is paramount. Mm-hmm. But when I say having it in place, have it in a place where your entire family member knows where your members,
no secrets.
No secrets here, be totally transparent. Hey, if I can't get to it and you can, it's in the closet under the steps, wherever you keep your storm kit, let them know. I also like to remind customers to keep, and I'm not going to take anything else out, I promise, but I just wanted to say, I like to remind customers to keep some identification. Yeah. Keep any of your important documents that you think that you might need and you won't be able to get to if the house is, in disarray. Keep them in a plastic bag or a plastic folder.
That brings up a bigger point too for me is the family side of things, because what happens if, you never know in the Midwest when weather can change sometimes, and if, your daughter or son is out, at a friend's house playing, hanging out, playing soccer, whatever you want to do, and this storm hits, how important is it to have like a family emergency plan whenever something gets tough? Maybe the family's separated. How do we get back to center here if destruction strikes?
Most certainly.
Yeah. So, you're right. A plan is definitely the most important thing to do, and you should talk about it, regularly. I tie in a lot of things to when we have to spring forward and when we have to fall back. Spring forward is a good time to refresh your kit. It's also a great time to go over that plan with your family. So if you are separated, here's what we need to do. You want to make sure all of your electronic devices are first and foremost, that they're fully charged. So, if you're able to, if there still is internet service, obviously you want to be able to text back and forth, but you want to be able to have that plan. So if, you've got the teenagers are out who have just played soccer, obviously you want that whoever is watching you or is supposed to be the adult or the guardian here, follow their emergency plan and do everything that they say. And then when the time is right, yes, there'll be a little bit of chaos, but eventually in the aftermath, you'll be able to assess the damage. Power lines will be, de-energized. Then you can probably pick up the phone and call, or maybe you're able to, eventually drive over. But the goal here is if you're out and about and you're not with your family, follow that other family's emergency plan.
That's a big one. How does Ameren identify themselves whenever they're coming to a site? Because, you never know, especially with what we saw in California with those people that were just going in and stealing from people and saying they were emergency responders. Does Ameren have a way to identify that for folks to know? It sounds like and I know it's like, wearing the badge and stuff, but
yeah.
Is it just a certain protocol you have that kind of just, there's just key identifiers?
So I'll go ahead and take that, Paula. So yes, so obviously, you can have a badge. We're going to have on all of our, protective equipment on us, our personal protective equipment. But, scam artists can do just about anything that they want to do. So here's a rule of thumb. In an emergency situation, it's going to be slightly more difficult because we always tell people one of the things that we don't do is we just don't show up unannounced, that we're going to call you and let you know that, hey, we are coming to, do this routine repair. But in an emergency situation, we're there to get we're going to patrol first. We call it bird dog, making sure, we see where the damage is. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But for the most part, it's your instincts as a customer. Not a lot of people, hopefully, are going to pretend that they're going to be a lineman or a gas coworker. But, if somebody is in your yard and you just don't feel comfortable, ask them, take a second to leave. And the safest thing that you can always do, and Paula will agree with me, is if someone is in your yard and you don't know who they are, You can call 911 to report them. But if it's someone who says that they're an Ameren employee, the best thing to do is call 1-800-755-5000, talk to somebody in customer service. They can get a hold of somebody in operations and go, you know what, CJ, yes, we are on your street. It's because of the storm. Yes, we are going to make repairs, but we're not going to come out during the storm and tell you that we're going to turn your gas off or your electric off because you're behind in payments, which did happen back in the January story down south. We had people who were actually following up, and we did a whole campaign on a couple of individuals saying, we're going to shut your natural gas off now because you're behind. And we're not going to do that in an emergency situation.
And see, that's why I bring that up, though, because, I mean, for all the good that you all do, there's just the folks that really do prey on the times of tragedy, and it just shows their true character. But it's just important to know that how you guys really do think of all these things. And it's fascinating because we know you as Ameren, and it's funny because you guys are such a massive company, but we see your vehicles so much and see your linemen and know your linemen from our neighborhoods and everything else that it doesn't feel that way, so when you hear the nucleus at work about emergency management and working with IEMA and city mayors and village operators, it's just really fascinating to me that all this goes into just one potential circumstance. How do you guys keep your staff and linemen safe during all this? Because I'm sure that they're, your first responders to getting this rebuild going is essential. Do you guys have any protocols for them to follow that's kind of interesting?
So, and feel free to jump in, Paula. So one of the things, especially during a storm, obviously we have safety protocols that we go through. But more importantly, when we bring in outside individuals to come in, I mean, we actually sit down with them, and before they're even allowed to start a job, we run through all of our protocols, and we know which companies follow our protocols. And in a big storm, we've actually let contractors go who have, did some things that didn't follow our safety protocols. While it may not look so hot to a group of people when you see like 5 trucks from the state of Ohio leaving, but if they're not following our safety protocol, not only are they putting themselves at risk, but they're also putting people down the lines who are working on the project at risk.
And that's even a bigger point, too, because people do get frustrated by that sometimes, I think, and they have a preconceived notion about why out-of-town companies are working the storm or why there's recovery efforts and not a lot of maybe local vehicles there, but it's just a contracting issue and a numbers thing. An efficiency thing. So when it comes to really vetting those and saying, yeah, we've cut some folks loose right there on the spot, it's good for the public to know that these aren't just, the guys that grabbed the lowest bid of the contract. Right. These are folks that are really here and vetted, on their performance by the second almost.
Right. And it's not commonplace. Right. It happened, like I said, like for us, it's the very first storm of this year where that did happen, and it's unfortunate, but again, you need to follow our protocols to keep not only your own folks safe, but other folks, again, down the line, because you have to be able to tell us that, all right, we're going to give you circuit 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's de-energized right now, so you need to go work on that line. We don't want you to start pre-staging. We don't want you to take shortcuts. We want you, as a contractor, our own boots on the ground, to follow those protocols. The other thing that's interesting about when we call in people from other states, it's not that we don't have enough linemen of our own to do this, or even in the state of the Missouri. What we've found is that when we call in more boots on the ground, it speeds up our restoration efforts. It builds the morale of our own folks because, hey, they've already put in the first 8, 10, 12 hours. There is a time frame after, 14 or 16 hours where they, by our safety rules, have to go on break. Well, rather than them go on break and rest and not have anything happening in a community, that's why we bring in these extra workers, extra line workers, to come in and start filling in. So when one group goes on rest, we have a whole army of new folks who are coming in, following our safety protocol, all in the name of customer restoration at a much safer and quicker pace.
And I just want to address mutual assistance, because we bring in crews from other areas under our mutual assistance agreements. But guess what? Our crews go and they assist those areas if they have an emergency situation.
Paula, do you have a sledgehammer in your box? Is that what I'm looking at,
Well,
hon?
it's not a sledgehammer. It's just a hammer.
Oh, okay. Because I was
need
like, man,
tools.
who didn't pay you today?
I have everything in my safety kit. You need tools, CJ.
Well, and see, that's what I think so fascinating about it, because the more I look at it, it's really common sense items. I mean, yeah, you're going to need, if something bad happens and God forbid you're trapped, you're going to need to find a way to get out of a situation pretty quick.
Exactly.
And it's not a matter of when, it might happen. It's just you better be prepared than not prepared, I got a question. Just before I let you go, this is a very serious question. Can I get one war room photo so I can look like like I'm out there, really looking at just one war room invite, just so I can look like I'm really a part of something.
Of course.
Oh, boom, win. That's worth the whole darn year.
We're gonna make
That's
it happen.
worth. See,
I'll go out and get my PPE and come back in. And we'll get something during the commercial
Oh,
break.
I wanted the real thing. I want to have the jacket. I want to have it where it says like Daily Show instead of President of the United States.
We'll make it happen. We're gonna call you when we have to have one of those storm trailers back in town.
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I will do it.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow, we got some breaking news when we come back. Before I let you go, anything else we should fill our audience? Oh wait, how can we find out more online?
Ameren.com. We remind our customers, go to Ameren.com. You'll get all of the information you need there. Also, sign up for alerts that will let you know, storms are pending. Emergency situation, whatever. We have alerts for everything. But again, mobile alerts, that is. But go to Ameren.com. Call 1-800-755-5000. If you have questions, you can speak with the customer service representative. Again, you can get any information you need from that number. But our Ameren.com website is golden. All information that you need is there.
Love it.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
We'll take there we go. Oh, and by the way, war room photo in. I think I'm going to have like a really good, like kind of really stern, stoic look. I don't know.
You need a goatee, though.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Breaking news alert, just real quick, because we have to get this out. The Edwardsville School Board last night voted to dismiss 16 employees just out of a meeting. So we'll have some coverage on that, and then more on early voting numbers and all those important things for the 618.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing? We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 940, a little bit of change. I am annoyed. And I got to tell you why early voting is not off to a good start, and that's a problem. You know, what amazes me about this, and I keep getting updates on, the local elections are the most important thing there is. And man, I am looking awfully. I never look at myself in this camera, but I have got to go get a spray tan. I mean, I'm just going to have to just bite the bullet and do this. Sorry, monologue time. But, I mean, think about this. These races are the ones that actually matter. I mean, they impact your taxes, your roads, your safety, literally everything that is essential to the American dream, to your American dream, they matter. Well, turnout is terribly low. I mean, we're talking under 500, and people are going to say, CJ, we still got another week of early voting. I don't care. It shouldn't be this low. I mean, the bottom line is simple. When it's this low, a small group of people are going to make a big decision for everybody else, and you're going to let them. I mean, it's easy to complain on social media and vent in public. I see you do it literally all the time, and we all see it. We've all kind of been a part of it. But we have to take the time to vote. If you aren't going to take the time to vote, which many of the same people complaining on social media won't do, it's sad, and it's a poor reflection on the city and the region, because the more that you advertise this and how bad things are without exercising your right to vote, and it could be anything. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for ever. You could vote to keep things the same if you're happy. You can vote to change things if you want to change. You can do whatever you want, but you have to vote, because just sitting there, armchair quarterback in this thing from social media isn't going to do it. Whether you're new to voting or you voted before, you got to step up and you got to take the time to do it and do your research. That's just the bottom line. Your vote matters, okay? April 1st is election day, and we're a week away. You have to take the opportunity to shape the future that you want it to be. This is your local election. It truly matters. It's not like the national election, and I get it. You were bombarded with political ads, and you had all this going on. It's going to trickle down to us. Here, it directly impacts you each and every day. And whether you like it, whether you don't like it, you still have to vote. And it's the most powerful tool that you can truly have. So it starts with showing up at the ballot box. Elections aren't won on social media. That's my big thing. They just aren't won on social media. They're won by voting. Make a plan. Vote on them before April the 1st. No matter who you vote for, you have to vote. Last election, there was almost, I think, 4,900 votes cast. Maybe I'm a little bit highballing that. We had almost 17,000 registered voters. That's abysmal. And it's just embarrassing, because those same people that didn't vote are the same ones that are out there complaining, or they're advocating for certain people. Go and vote, and tell your friends to vote too. And the other thing that amazes me is that the county has it seems like we have all this money, and I keep asking them when they come on the show, why can't we advertise just the dates of the local election more? And that's on local media too. That's on us. And we got to keep telling you guys to go and make sure your voices are heard. If we have a turnout that's lower than the last time around, think of what that showcases. It showcases to developers, and it showcases to the future that we just are completely out of the equation, and it really doesn't bother us. And to me, that's never been our community. We've always been active. We've always been active in our region, and it starts here. It starts on or before April the 1st. That's my rant today. Real quick, man, I never do that, but man, I just saw that and it got me. Edwardsville Community Unit School District number 7 Board of Education did vote. This was the breaking news that I was telling you about, to dismiss 16 employees after an hour of public comment protesting the decision during the regular meeting of the Edwardsville Community Unit School District number 7 Board on Monday. The board voted 4-3 to approve that resolution authorizing the dismissal and non-reemployment of certified non-tenure probationary employees. A full write-up on RiverBender.com. This is an in-depth one, and it's one that you're going to have to take some time to look at, but that is the breaking news. We'll take a quick break at 9:44. More Daily Show on this Tuesday morning next.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Look at it! Reach out to me for satisfaction, yeah. Look at here, babe. That's all she got to do. Call my name, yeah. For quick reaction, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course I haven't. Sorry, that was my hand. Thank you. That was actually really funny, and I hope you got the reference. Have you ever seen that? Whenever he hit his vape on the air.
Sean Handy. Oh my god.
Really,
that was
like, honestly, I don't care. It was freaking hilarious. I watched that just to get myself feeling. It's just hilarious. Anyway, BlazerCon, April the 12th. How are we feeling?
We're feeling great.
Congratulations on your wedding, man.
Thank you.
That's going to be great.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Hell
I'm counting down the days. It's going to be a big one.
So take me through BlazerCon. This is April the 12th, 1 to 8 p.m. And this is going to be a big day. You guys just got shouted out by Anime STL.
Yeah, recently on their Facebook page, and we've been in kind of close partnership with them. They're going to be running our cosplay contest, and they've graciously donated 2 weekend passes for the first place winner.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting.
That is really cool. So how'd all this set up?
Oh gosh. I mean, we've been working on this for probably over a year now. And it started as just like a little idea, like during an office meeting. I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool if the college had like a like a convention.
Yep.
And a few people on campus had wanted to do something like that before, and it just never really worked out until now.
Well, I mean, you guys have like the comic book class now, and like there's some other things that really tie into campus life too a little bit.
Absolutely. We have buy-in from the students, the student organizations, the video game club, biggest club on campus, by the way.
There you go.
Biggest club on campus. 40 people in person, 200 people on paper. But the video game club is going to be hosting a Mario Kart and a Smash Bros tournament with prizes as well during the con. So whole bunch of different things, and we're gonna have food trucks. We're gonna have D&D sessions that are happening in the Commons. So this will span the back half of Lewis and Clark, from the Riverbend Arena to the Skybox on the second floor to parts of the dental school to the Commons. So we're prepping for a big crowd. We're really excited.
This is real. I mean, you got a lot of people that are responding. I mean, look at this, 700 people. That's pretty good.
We're pretty psyched. We're pretty psyched.
I'd say so. That's one of your bigger ones, isn't that, on Facebook? That's got to be one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
So how did all this come to, like, who do we have to, is it just the college that thought this was a good idea and said, let's go ahead and do this?
It was Jared. It's all Jared. This is all Jared right here. All Jared. And I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. No one else has done it yet at Lewis and Clark, so let's go ahead and do it. Yes. And Jared has dug in, and he's manning the trenches, as so to speak. And
it's a lot of work.
He's fielding the phone calls, finding the vendors, setting up the food trucks. It just he's been absolutely kicking butt.
There you go. Kicking ass, Jared. Good for you.
I said Daniel's been my right-hand man on all of this. So.
There you see, Daniel, the feelings reciprocated.
Seriously, I could not do it. We have a great team of like 4, 5, 6, 7 people, whoever shows up to the meetings.
Honestly, though.
But man, we've been working really hard at this, and it's just a passion project that we want to bring to the community. People, and we want to tell people too, if they're not like big into comic or pop culture or nerd culture, this is like the perfect entry into that realm. Like, if this is your first convention ever, like, this is the one to go to. Yep. I think it's a good,
Yeah, if you like Star Wars, if you like Lord of the Rings, if you like anime, if you like video games, if you like tabletop games, if you like food,
horror genre. I mean, we're trying to get like all of the.
You got to be careful saying that word on the air. I've learned that the hard way.
Horror,
scary stuff, scary stuff.
Spooky, oh no, I like saying it because it gets the audience on the edge of the seat a little bit. They're like,
"Wait, is he gonna say it?"
What haven't I said on this? What haven't I said on this show before? Take me through the vendors. So how do you find all of these folks? Who's coming in? Who are we seeing? And all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was a process. We kind of put it out on Facebook. We reached out to some people via email, phone calls, basically people that we thought would kind of be nerd adjacent. It's like, it's not all comics and video games and stuff like that, but it's basically what would kind of vibe with that comic and pop culture realm. So man, just some cold calls to different people, seeing if they're interested, put stuff out on Facebook, put a ton of ads. We had a form, and we had a ton of people sign up, and we actually had to say no to some people just because of the influx of vendors that were interested.
And then we had some vendors that were coming from way out of state.
Way like closer to Chicago. I think one of our panelists is driving from the East Coast.
Yeah. Oh wow!
So it's pretty amazing.
That's really cool. Well, I want to talk about the panels and all that stuff in a second, and it's something they don't teach you in broadcasting schools. How to fight off a sneeze. But with that being said, what type of food's coming in?
Well, we got Overboard on the Go.
What's that?
Which is, so they're...
I like the game name, Overboard.
Yes,
absolutely.
They have burgers and tacos, and I believe he's actually a student of Lewis and Clark.
Oh, wow.
He was featured in the Edwardsville Intelligencer a while back. One of the two gentlemen that's part of it, they've traveled across the country, and they've been trained in culinary arts and different countries. We got Hope and Smoke Barbecue, which is another local place.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
You got wings, brisket, tacos, all your good barbecue stuff. We have our Blazer Bites restaurant, which is...
That's doing well for you guys.
It is. Shout out Jason Harrison right there.
Yeah, Jason's doing a great
job. Jason's awesome.
Yes. So let's talk. So, is there going to be like video games and all that stuff? Like you can go in and play and video games. And is there a tournament? You said.
Yep. So the Mario Kart tournament will be run by the video game club, biggest
what's
club
the
on
prize?
campus.
What's the prizes? What are we going to do when I start winning?
No, I'm just kidding.
You got $1 million?
No.
It's like you're holding out on me, man. So right now we are looking at some cash prizes, undisclosed or undetermined amount right now, but we're looking at some cash prizes for our video game tournaments.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to hustle it. You know why? Yeah, this is what I do in pool. I always like to tell people, like, I make them feel like I'm getting ready to hustle the crap out of it. Like, I'm, like, so good. Oh, no, go ahead. You know, I'm not good at this stuff. And then they realize that I'm actually terrible. So, like, so what I do is I ruin it for the next time. Because I know whenever somebody else is just like me, but they're actually getting ready to rip them out of all their money, they're going to go, you know what? I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to take this money from this guy. He's not lying. And then he's going to get us, just complete bank account drained and all of that. That's what's going to happen at Mario Kart because I want to do this. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to lose first round and I'm going to get in somebody's head and I'm going to have them just kind of taking side bets the entire time. There could be some money in this.
Absolutely. Chances are. We run odds,
Oh, it's the 12th. Yeah. I might have to send somebody in my place. It's the 12th. I don't know. We'll find out. But what I like about this, so the music, is there live music at this?
So
I'll be DJing partially.
Hell yeah, there you go. Back out of retirement.
Yes.
DJ Rice Cakes.
It's funny because I've gotten, as a recruiter for Lewis and Clark, I've gotten students that are like, I've DJ'd their prom, and so they know me as DJ Rice Cakes. And then I've got non-traditional students that come in, and I'm like walking to school, and they're like, DJ Rice Cakes, because they know me from downtown. And I'm like, oh, all right then.
I always can tell when somebody knows me from downtown, and it is not the best feeling in the world.
Yeah,
it's like normally a look of horror. There you go.
Gotcha. Yes.
Yeah, see, I'm on form today. Hey, 10:38, a little bit of change. We're gonna take a quick break, and I'll come back with more with BlazerCon. We'll fill you in on the panels, some of the art that's going to be on display, all that good stuff. You stay there. We'll stay here on Roku TV and RiverBender.com. More after this.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Take a trip across the sea. Everybody come along with me. We're gonna hit the bank down in Cape Paris. All over the world. Everybody got the word. Everybody everywhere.
Welcome back. You couldn't hear that. 1041, a little bit of change. Man, my voice is going out. BlazerCon! Yes! Yeah. All righty, we're here now. Hey, panel discussions. Who's going to be featured?
Yeah, so we got we have 8 panels this year.
Wow. Is this your first year doing this?
Yeah, very first.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we just
Good job.
We
Jumping
jumped in,
deep.
and
Yeah.
we were like, we're gonna swim or we're gonna drown. But we got 8 panels.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we got 8 panels. We have Steampunk panel by the Gateway Steampunk Society. We have History of Comic Books with Stephen Herrick. We have Business 101 with Hove and Crow Entertainment.
What's that one? What's Business 101?
That one is going to talk about basically how to get started as a freelance artist, author, filmmaker.
Wow, that's
so it's
really
kind of
cool.
walk through that process. We have the Horror Heels
There you go.
podcast, which is going to be like a live episode of their podcast during the panel, so that's pretty
That's
awesome.
cool.
We have Ink and Drink Comics, which is
Oh no, another bad headache?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
In the ways of magic, but I'm beginning to wonder why.
1 week. 1 week. The time is 10:02. You're watching Our Daily Show on Roku TV and RiverBender.com. Wherever this show simulcasts anymore, thanks for watching too. We're here with candidate for Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes, and really excited to have you in the studio and excited to get to know a little bit more about you.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for everyone out there watching and listening.
Well, take me through your background a little bit and a little bit of who you are for the folks that are getting to know you too.
I'm Beth Johnes, and I would like to be your mayor. I'm a lifelong resident of the Godfrey Alton area. I'm married to Tim for 40 years, and we've raised 3 daughters who have led very successful careers. And I have 1 sassy granddaughter. I'm a member of St. Mary's Church and a Marquette and Lewis and Clark graduate. I hate to waste our airtime, but I need to, let's say, take out the trash.
Okay.
There's been some misconception that I want to close down the street department, dissolve the street department, sell the equipment, sub everything out. That is totally untrue.
Right.
What I would like to do is keep the street department. They're doing a fine job. Their job is to have street maintenance. When it comes to the heavy lifting, let's say, those are the jobs that I feel that they can handle, and I would like to see those jobs subbed out.
Well, and see, we can dive right into that if you'd like to too.
Well,
because
no.
I know that it's kind of gotten. We're at the point in the race, Beth, where it's just it seems like everyone's really kind of doing all they can to
exactly
to make their case.
Exactly.
And so with that being said, what have you kind of what are your thoughts just on the village right now currently? Just kind of a quick segue over from that.
The village is a nice place to live. Small town atmosphere. Everybody seems to like that small town atmosphere. I like that small town atmosphere. I want to keep that small town atmosphere. I want to, when I'm mayor, I work for the residents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm their employee.
Right.
Whatever, I work for them. They voted for me. That's my job. I want to hear from them. I want to know what they want. I want to find out, what's important to them in the growth of Godfrey, what they would like to see happen.
Mm-hmm.
I want to provide residential services. They all pay taxes, but they don't have the residential services. I'd like to see a yard waste and lawn pickup removal twice a year, maybe. A large item pickup twice a year, maybe. I'd like to see some sidewalks continued down Delmar, and I'd like to see some sidewalks continued down Godfrey Road. I'd like to see the street sweeper come out. I think we own 2 street sweepers. I know we own 1 for sure. And have you ever seen the street sweeper?
I want to clarify. So I don't drive in Godfrey too much. So I just want to throw that.
But I think that you would see the street sweeper. I've never seen the street sweeper, never. And I've had some folks say that they've never seen the street sweeper.
So and those are really good points and things that I can't wait. And I want to talk about those with you too. And real quick though, let's kind of dive back into Beth a little bit, just for the folks that kind of are interested. Take me through. Do you have your background growing up? Did you grow up in Alton, Godfrey?
Yes, I did.
Really cool.
Born and raised. I've got a 35 years in accounting and business management background. I've held jobs with the Madison County Auditor, Shepherd Morgan and Schwab, and the Woodlands Golf Course.
Wow.
And for 10 years, I owned a union contracting company. So with those, with that background, I feel like I can manage a business, balance a budget, and put the needs of my customers first, which I think that's lacking in Godfrey.
So take me through a little bit about, just your rise through kind of the corporate chain, and then you're finding your own and your own company here. What have you learned along the way with just working with people and growing with the times?
It's tough.
It's a good point.
And the customer's needs need to come first.
Yeah.
And, pretty much the customer is always right.
Well, yeah. So, how did you find time to, kind of manage all of this with raising a family and everything else?
I don't know how people do it, but I did it. I'm very organized. I'm very efficient. So, you just had to be, working, running kids to school, soccer, whatever else, it was just homework. Yeah, you just have a schedule. You stick to your schedule.
Well, and have you ever ran or decided to be a part of public life before?
No, I am not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I just want to be there for the residents and let them feel that they're being heard.
Mm-hmm.
If they've got an issue, they can come to me. And I will see that issue through until it's resolved.
So, with this being kind of your first foray into the political arena, if you will, what have you kind of learned? What is the takeaways from, business life, personal life, and then, now public life?
Well, actually, I view it as you're running a business.
Uh-huh.
And so you have to have that business management and that business background. because basically it is a business. You know, you've got employees, you've got a budget, you know, you've got expenses. You need to make people happy. I mean, you're not going to make everybody happy, but you need to make people happy. And that's just how I view it. And I feel that I have that very, very strong background.
Well, and take me through what led up to running for mayor this time around. Was this something that you thought about for a while? Was it something that, you know, you just kind of said, let's do this, let's see what happens? Take me through that process.
It was just something that I had in the back of my mind. I had talked to several people, and they had expressed concerns with the leadership, and that it was time to change leadership, and that fresh leadership needs to be in there, and that they had some issues with being put on this list. And I'm like, what is this list? And this list is people that have stormwater damage in their backyard. And supposedly they call, and they're told that it will be reviewed, and then they will be put on the list. Well, last week I talked to a lady that was put on the list last year, and the estimate to fix her property was $95,000. Well, she called this year, and she's been moved down the list because there's been more, I don't want to say important, but more things that need to be fixed before hers, according to the village engineer.
Yeah.
He did say he would come out and reassess her property, but he couldn't guarantee that she wouldn't be moved down the list. So here's my hypothetical to you. If you were having stormwater issues, when it rained, if your backyard looked like a built-in swimming pool, and you called the village and they said to you, we put you on the list because there's more drastic issues that need to be fixed before yours, and you're on this list for a year. Okay, so hypothetical, let's say the mayor all of a sudden has a built-in pool in his backyard, and it's going to cost $95,000 to fix. Who do you think is going to get fixed first?
Well, I don't want to answer that hypothetical.
I know, and I'm not going to answer it either. I'm just throwing it out there.
So, is there any evidence of that happening, though? I mean,
yeah, I have the list.
Oh, wow. Do you have it with? I mean,
I have it on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have the list, and I have the lady's pictures.
Wow. So, I mean, this is where my question is where? So, like with the stormwater damage, are we talking about because there's no drainage in the back and like in these homes in this
Well,
ground?
with her instance, I think she's lived on this property 30 plus years. And so when she lived there was an alfalfa field in the back.
Okay.
Or alfalfa or asparagus. I can't remember what she told me. So it was just field. Well, then a builder came in and built up the subdivision without allowing for the proper drainage.
Yeah.
So over the years, it's her and 4 other neighbors that are affected with the drainage issue.
Wow.
And it needs to be fixed. I mean, that's the worst thing in the world, to see your yard just disappearing.
Now, and where did you? And this is because I don't know too much about the storm list or anything. Yeah. This is honestly the first time I'm hearing about it. Is there like a fund set aside for storm damage? Is what we're saying, and they're just getting pushed down the list and not getting taken care of?
From what I took away, the engineer has a budget.
Okay.
He likes to use that budget to get as many little things as he can get taken care of. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah. No, I get, and that's what I'm just curious about, because it's seriously the first time I've never really looked into this much, but I get get the concern there though, especially if you're, for the woman that's saying, I got a literal lake back here,
But then here's my other concern, which I didn't want to throw this out there at you, because I know it's like, oh my God.
No, you're
the P word, the plan.
Oh God.
Okay, so they want to spend $90,000 on a comprehensive plan without blinking an eye, but they can't spend $95,000 on this woman's backyard.
So
maybe it's in your budget somewhere, maybe it's in your budget line, but still, just look at it. I mean, it's common sense.
Well, and see, that's so is my problem is not problem, but my only question would be on this is, is it kind of like, I guess, a Bluff Street issue or like a Riverview Wall? Because, I mean, people buy their homes, and was she already there? And then all of a sudden the drainage happened after she was moved in? It wasn't like she bought it and then knew the problem was there? Because that's my question. If it was like
the problem wasn't there because the homes weren't there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
this
now
lady,
it's all
the homes
making
weren't
sense.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. Another lady that has an issue with a creek in her backyard.
Gotcha.
She didn't know it was a problem. This is a lady off of Pierce Lane. She didn't know it was a problem until it became a problem. And then she found out that Godfrey owned the creek. So she's called him and said, come and fix this, come and fix this. Gotcha. She's on the list too. And they won't come out and fix it. So now the next good rain, she's going to lose her hot tub down the creek. I was out there and looked at it.
Wow. How many are on this list?
Let me check.
That is just fascinating. I mean, this is seriously, Beth, the first time the first time I've heard about this. And, you know, how important is it for you to kind of gain all this information and talk? I mean, because this is from you talking to voters, I'm sure, and talking to constituents, too. We're waiting just a couple of seconds here, but just talking a little bit about this storm.
Right now, there's 34 people on the list.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I don't know if that's just page one or if that's the whole list, but yeah, there's 34 people on the list.
Okay. Well, and now, so what would you do as mayor to efficiently get this list tackled?
Well, I for sure would address it, and I would say let's start knocking these people off the list. You know, what's it going to take to get these people where they should be?
Yeah.
So they can enjoy their home, so they don't want to move.
And that makes sense, because at first my takeaway was, you know, I bought a house like I knew had a water issue, you know, and I'm just kind of hoping this village pays for it. But if you're already there and these things are natural occurrences, I totally get the frustration, 100%. So whenever you're talking to, has this become more and more of a common issue? I know we're talking about this too much, but has this been more common than you thought it was going to be? Or is this just a couple of people? Because this is like really so fascinating.
It's more than a couple of people.
Wow.
You know, there's 34 people on the list. So yeah, I mean, it's
okay.
It's more than a common issue, but it seems like the list has been like put in a drawer, let's say.
Yeah. Well, and going forward too, what are some of the other things that you're hearing just from walking the streets and, you know, picking up the phone and talking to folks about some of the concerns they have in your opinion with the village?
They want to be heard, which they're not being heard, or they feel like they're not being heard. I agree that they're not being heard. I had some issues with the village and I wasn't heard.
Can we expand on that? It's up to you. I don't want to push.
Well, I just had some problems with a neighbor that went on for about 18 months and was just told there's nothing we can do.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And it was like, no, you can, as far as I'm concerned, you can do something.
Well, and just, you know, have the conversation and, you know,
exactly.
and that makes sense. And so going forward, what do you envision for Godfrey? I mean, because we'll have a lot more time to talk about this after we come back from a break, but just to kind of, you know, let the folks that are watching today know a little bit more just of what you'd like to do. If you could hone it into a couple of points that we can expand on later, what would they be?
I'd like to attract younger families to move in to Godfrey. But before we do that, we need to, there's been several builders that won't build in Godfrey anymore for one reason or another. And very good builders. And I would like to sit down with them and say, okay, you know, I'm the mayor now. What happened? You know, what happened? You know, there's a new leadership. Let's go forward. You know, I would like to get you back. I would like to have you build your quality homes. I would like to get young families in here.
Yeah, makes sense, and really a good start to the conversation. We'll come back after our first break, and we'll have more for you. State of the race coverage with Beth Johnes. I always do that too. I keep calling. I can't talk. Candidate for mayor of the village of Godfrey. And we'll come back with more. Getting to know Beth and her platform and vision for the village if elected on April the 1st.
Oh no, another bad headache?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back at 10:20. On this 25th day of March, our State of the Race coverage. You were my last mayoral candidate interview.
Save the best for the last, didn't you?
Well, you know what bums me? I had almost everyone but one person, and it's just like, kind of makes me sad. But that's okay. I got Beth in the studio, and we're talking about her platform and vision for the village of Godfrey, if elected on April the 1st. And, Beth, what do you want people to know most about you when it comes to just who you are and your platform? Because, in this new age of media, it seems like the old form of, interviews and the question and answer stuff, it's gone. It's more of this, people want to get to know, the folks that are really coming into office and getting to hear them from a longer formed conversation,
Right.
Just what are your thoughts? What do you like for people to know about you?
Well, I think it's good to have people that have the same values that you do, family values. I think I have that, and I think there's a lot of people, all the residents in Godfrey, are family orientated.
Yeah.
And so I just like to see things focused around that. I think Godfrey has become complacent, and I'd like to meet with the residents and say, tell me what your top 5, top 10 things are that you'd like to see happen in Godfrey. Compile that list and then send it back out and say, this is what we've come up with. Do you agree with that? Should we move forward with that? Or is there other things that you'd like to see happen?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, improve on those residential services. We have the money. They're just not spending the money. And improve on that. Clean up the business district. There's money in the business district fund so we can clean up the business district. Finish those sidewalks like I talked about. Move the street department off of Godfrey Road and put it back with the other street department that's off of Herder Industrial. Clean up that corner. Get rid of that eyesore that's on Godfrey Road. Just basically common sense things,
Mm-hmm. Well, and what does day one look like for you? Let's say the stars align and it's just the night of Beth, and you you win the election. What does day one after you're sworn into the village mayor seat look like for you?
Well, day one is going to be I'm not going to go in and clean house. I will not go in and say, no, here's my people, you guys clear out. That's not going to happen day one. Day one's going to look like meeting with department heads, going over their budget, seeing what they see what their top priorities are and wants, kind of taking the pencil to their budget, finding out why there's so much excess spending on department head and personnel wages, get to the bottom of that, and just things like that. Just like a meet and greet, get to know everybody, get to know all the employees, and just kind of go from there.
Well, and whenever you're looking at the line items, because I mean, you do have the background. We talked about that earlier. What are you going to be looking for? In those reports and in those budgets, is there? When we talk excess, what is excess for you, or what do you define as something? I hate to use the word wasteful, but wasteful spending.
Some of the department heads are making too much money.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yes. And okay, that's my opinion. They're making too much money. I'd like to find out why. What's that based on?
Gotcha.
Look at things like that. Look at maintenance supplies. Do we need to spend this much on that? Are you sending out for bids over? If you want an item over $2,500, are you sending it out for bid, or are you just giving it to whoever you want to?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a piece of equipment that you need to buy, well, we have to see how badly we need that piece of equipment. If we can repair what we have, or if it's just going to be a Band-Aid. You don't need to be putting Band-Aids on top of things. Go out and get the new stuff.
And, whenever you're looking at, infrastructure and improvements, because all that goes hand in hand, with that budget, what do you think would be, year one or two, for you on an infrastructure plan? I know you hit on sidewalks and about putting those down Delmar, and I know that there's a lot of people that would probably, agree with you on that, to have that continually grow. Do you see an expansion in your term as mayor in terms of acreage, or in terms of incorporating or utilizing some property for industry or any type of economic growth?
Yeah, there's a lot of property there for growth, but like I said before, you have to have the people before you have the business.
Gotcha.
If you can't support the business, you can't go after the business.
Yeah.
So you got to go after the people first. So that's pretty much how year one looks, and then just take it from there and say, okay, what are our goals? And how many new homes do you want to have built in the year 2024 and 2023? There was only 40 new homes built. That's not even an average of one home a month.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Right. Yeah, because that would be 2 years, wouldn't that
yes.
be? Yeah.
And I have that. I have that paperwork.
Yeah. No,
so I'm just not shooting off the hip.
No, I was just trying to do that because I'm not a math major. I was like, that is 2 years, so that wouldn't be too. So and that's another thing too is finding out what that growth looks like. And there's and you hit on it, I think, very well with. There's a transition period. I mean, and this is why the only thing I find difficult with local elections and consolidated ones is there's not a long enough, I think, transition to an administration, because sometimes you're starting off, kind of learning things on, on the fly a little bit.
Yeah, and then it's time to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
So, are there any people you're kind of talking to or getting advice from, or, kind of just leveraging in a way to kind of help that first couple of months, that first couple of years in office, if everything goes well?
Not really. There's rumors flying that I have an informant. Oh, she's got an informant.
Oh,
well, I don't have an informant. My informant is myself.
An informant.
And maybe my granddaughter.
An informant. It's crazy. People are so. So and that's well. At least you got that out there to let people know. But it's one of those things though where it is fascinating because you're doing this, and I think people should know that you're looking to do this as Beth. You aren't having the.
Exactly.
Kind of the team of people.
Yeah, like I told you, I'm not a politician, so I like it. Yeah, I'm just going in it as just a resident of Godfrey that sees a need for the change of leadership and sees the need to finally have the residents come first.
What do you think, and if it's okay if I ask, I didn't get a chance to ask the aldermanic candidates this yesterday, but the news that Godfrey is going to be taking Alton to some type of litigation over this $120,000. What do you think about that, number one? And then the follow-up is, do you think there could be a working relationship with communities like Alton or Grafton or Jerseyville that are surrounding Godfrey? Maybe not in a completely symbiotic way, but in a way that you can both help each other grow.
From what I've gathered on that $120,000, it had to do with the sewer sales. And when Alton sold their sewer, I don't know how.
It was a long.
Yeah, because it was the sewer sales.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was years ago. I don't know how it got into that Godfrey gave Alton $120,000, and I don't know how all that got in there, but somehow Godfrey gave Alton $120,000 on the prefaces that when you sell your sewer system, we get that money back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Alton sold their sewer system. They never got the money back. So Godfrey's been saying, hey, can we get this back? Can we get this back? Then all of a sudden, lo and behold, somebody did some creative accounting, and it's not showing up on Alton's books anymore.
Huh. No.
So that's
Beth,
what I
can't
gather.
Get in trouble. I got another couple of weeks here. But
that's what I gather.
So it's just a thought though, because it is relevant to the news. So it
is
one of those things where you kind of just are going to have to see this one play out.
Well, and if the shoe was on the other foot, Alton would be after Godfrey.
You got to,
so,
right?
It's like, yeah, it's so, so it's like,
do you
why are they going after him? Well, you know what? Alton would be going after Godfrey.
Right.
Or Alton would be, everybody, whoever owed who would be going after them.
Right.
And wouldn't wait this long.
Right. Well, and now with that being said, just that follow-up, do you think there is a chance to collaborate in some way, shape, or form with other communities?
I'm open to conversation with other communities. I think this has just been going on just forever. Alton won't talk to Godfrey. Godfrey won't talk to Alton.
Yeah.
And who knows why? I don't know why. It's just they won't talk to one another. Well, I'll have an open conversation with them. I know the people that are running for office. I have conversations with them now.
Right.
At Quick Trip, we have conversations, So, I'm not afraid to have a conversation with anybody.
Well, and that's another thing I think that's important for folks to know about too. Well, and another topic that's been coming up in this Godfrey side of the mayoral stuff and just village wide has been, of course, the roundabout story the last couple of years, and now it's coming in. It looks like next year. What are your thoughts on the roundabout?
The roundabout, when construction starts, it's going to be a cluster. Oh. And I live where the Godfrey Greenery used to be on Del Mar.
Oh,
so the road's going to be shut probably right there. So my house is going to be used as the roundabout till the roundabout's done. My driveway will be. So I'm going to have problems just like the people on the other side of Del Mar.
Uh-huh.
Once it's completed and once everybody takes their driver's ed course on how to drive a roundabout
or through one,
I think they'll like it. But then you have to look to the future. If you want to continue your business district down Del Mar, which I'm against that. I don't want to continue the business district down Del Mar, but some want to. You're going to have to widen the road. So then you're going to have to tear up the roundabout.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and so where do you foresee the business district just staying on Godfrey Road?
Yes. Why can't you keep the business district on this end for our families?
And now, do you see a way to go down towards the corridor a little bit more to keep expanding that district? Or
yes,
do you think
and
we're
you can
good?
go back towards like Airport Road, those areas for homes, and then just stay in the 255 corridor for the business district.
Do you see sports tourism as something that Godfrey could utilize and leverage with the land that you have?
I do. Well, just with our park system.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can surely collaborate with, like Alton, on a sports thing, have a conversation with them. See what they have to offer. See what we have to offer. Lewis and Clark, you've got things there that you can work with them.
Well, and see, that's another fascinating topic, and we'll hit on this before we take our second break. We take 3 breaks, but whenever you're talking to folks and they're reaching out and saying, hey, you know, Beth, I'm really excited about this. You running for mayor, or here's what I think needs to be done. How important is it to educate the constituents on just the different taxing bodies of the village and understanding how they work with you guys in local government? Because, you know, the board of trustees at Lewis and Clark that's making decisions for the taxing district, that's a heck of a lot different than, you know, Godfrey. And I think that there's sometimes a discrepancy whenever it comes to, you know, your guys' perspective roles.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people have said to me, oh, lower taxes. Well, you know, our taxes aren't high.
Right.
And they haven't,
that's true.
They haven't been they haven't been lowered in the last few years, but they haven't been raised.
Mm-hmm.
They've stayed this. They've stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is hard to read your real estate tax bill as to what goes where and what you do with it. But yeah, you know, you got to have that transparency. That if somebody walks in my door and says, "Okay, I want to see," it says Godfrey's getting so much of my tax money. Where's it going?
Right.
And I want to be able to pull out something and say, this is going there, this is going there, this is going there. This is what we can use this money for, and this money for.
You know, we have a couple minutes, and I want to ask you about this too. What, you know, with local law enforcement, with your partnerships with the Madison County Sheriff's Department, and you know, the work that they do you see a need to increase any of that partnership? Because I know that there's folks, and we've talked about it on the show, that are concerned with the amount of, you know, dangerous driving that's been going on, and some other things that really just take a lot of resources away from the bigger crimes that are happening throughout, you know, the county and you know, in the district that the sheriff's office is serving. And my question is just, do you think that everything like that is going okay? Do you see a chance to increase that relationship, or what are your thoughts there?
I met with the lieutenant and talked to him, and yeah, things are going good. He's happy.
Good.
His deputies are happy.
Because they do work hard. And
they do.
Yeah.
And they're great people to work with. And you know, when time comes for the contract to be up, if they feel the need for another deputy, you know, show me why. Let's see what it's going to cost, and let's see, you know, if the Godfrey residents think there's another need. You know, I think there's 3 deputies now. Maybe they might find the need for a 4th. You never know. But, you know, that's something to talk about when it's time for the contract.
Very interesting. And we'll take a quick break here. It's our second break in this 3-parter here, and we'll come back with more on your candidacy for mayor, all the fun stuff, all your vision, and then we'll come back and just keep having this great conversation going. You stay there. We'll stay here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
A mile away as I was headed out toward the door.
10:39. Welcome back to this Tuesday morning. It's the 25th day of March. CJ Nasello, Our Daily Show, Roku TV, Riverbender. Thanks for hanging out with us. Back with candidate for Village of Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes. And Beth, at this point, this is where I get to humbly say the floor is yours, Senator or mayoral candidate. What are you kind of focusing on and honing in on the most as we are literally 1 week away from when we're casting ballots and early voting's underway, and it's dreadful. You already heard my rant on that earlier, but go ahead and vote. What are your thoughts, though? What are you trying to focus in on? What's that kind of last week looking for you?
Well, one thing, one of my opponents sent out a letter leading to the fact that the candidates are running for financial gain. I am not doing this for financial gain. And I said that from the beginning. From the very moment I said I was going to run for mayor, I said I am not in favor of that raise. I do not want that raise. I will not take that raise. I have to take the raise. But any money over what the salary is now, I plan on donating to local charities and keep that money in the Riverbend area.
Wow. So that's really a big statement.
Yes.
That's a big statement.
So I just want to put it out there. I can't believe that I have to say it again. I thought that it had died down, but it hadn't. I am not in this for the financial gain.
Well, and see, that's, this is why we like having that extended conversation, so you can, let people know that. And, as, like I said, going back to this kind of last couple of thoughts here as we're wrapping up a very hard fought and run campaign. What are you trying to let people know about the most? Is it the salary thing, or are there some other things?
No, it's not. It's not the salary thing, but it's just that I don't want them to think that I'm doing this because I want the money.
Yeah.
No. That wasn't even a factor.
Right.
No.
Well, and
that's ridiculous. And I felt the raise was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I understood the prefaces of why they did it, but I feel that it's there. There we are again, excessive spending on our administrators.
Well, and see, now, if you were in office, and this is a good follow-up, I think, would you be opposed to any pay raises for the admin or appointees of a prospective mayor or any type of appointed or any type of department head position until you're able to look at a line item? I mean, what would that look like for you?
Oh, yeah, I would have to, and do like a review or an annual review, say, rate you, know, and say, okay, this is what your bottom number is. You're in the negatives.
As we're talking about, and you hit on earlier, I got to ask you, just because this has been the I don't know why Godfrey had to pick comprehensive plan, but they did. And it's my rant. I've said it for everybody. This isn't like a bias thing. It's just not the biggest. The plan has overtaken my life, Beth.
Oh, you know what?
But
yeah.
Let me ask you just what your thoughts are on the comprehensive plan.
I'm not shoving that comprehensive plan down anybody's throat. It's been shoved down your throat enough. It's ridiculous the amount of money that you want to spend. You want to bring somebody in from the outside that doesn't know the area.
Mm-hmm.
My plan looks like this. I talk to the residents. I get their top 5 or 10 things that they want to see in Godfrey. We gather that list and we say, okay, here's what we found out. This is what you say you want. This is your most important things, that you'd like to see come to Godfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, anything, just anything. Some man told me that he'd like to see more bicycle paths. Okay. He goes, but I feel silly for saying that to you because I'm the only one that feels that way. I go, you don't know that?
It's true. That's a good point.
There might be 5 other people in this room that feel like we need to have
I'm in favor. Get off the road.
Yeah.
I'm put any of them in.
Yeah. No. So, and I said to him, don't be like that. And he goes, you know what? You're right. You've got me thinking. You're right. So I want to see what the residents want. That's my whole thing. I want to see what the residents want. I want to compile this list, then send it back out and say, here's what we've gathered so far. Mm-hmm. Then when we're all done with it, then talk about going out for a plan. And if you spend that money on a plan, don't put it in a drawer like it's been done in the past. It's set in the drawer, and all of a sudden they want to bring it out and get a new one. I'm going to have tick marks. Okay, here we're at the 6-month mark. What have we accomplished? This is what our goals were for 6 months. Have we done them? Yes, great. No, why?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a year. Here's what a year looks like. How does that look?
Well, and see, that's where I've been asking a lot of people was, what is the check and balance? And this isn't, and I don't live in Godfrey, so it's not like I'm throwing my opinion out there. It's just, you got to have a check and balance for some of these things. And it seems like with these plans, and it's not a Godfrey specific, it's literally just how a comprehensive plan works. You look at it, everything's going great. Some things get accomplished. Yeah, that's wonderful. Some things don't. And then, here we are, back to square one. So how are you going to hold people accountable with the, if you have to follow the plan? That's my point.
Well,
and it's not really
that's the whole thing. There has been no checks and balances.
Yeah.
You've wrote out the check. You've got the plan. It goes in the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay. That's not going to happen with me. It's going to be sit front and center on my desk all the time.
Wow.
And it's going to be like, okay, have we done this? If we have not, let's get it done. Mm-hmm. And if there's a reason why it hasn't done with, let's find out what the holdup is. Let's do this.
100%. And now,
do that. Do a 6-month, do a year, do an 18-month if you have to. Do 2 years, but no, don't throw it in the drawer.
And with that being said, too, how are you going to be able to gather all that data from the public that has their input? Is it going to be like an online form? Is it a meet and greet opportunity?
Well, it can be anything. It can be a meet and greet. It can be an online form. It can be a mailer. It can be you coming into my office and say, this is what I want, and me jotting it down. Anything. Mm-hmm. My door will be open. My doors will be always open. If I'm busy and I have to make an appointment with you, fine. I hope you understand that. But the door is always open.
And, I think a concern, too, when it comes to Godfrey's residents sometimes is the fact that, older residents maybe feel like they're getting outgrown in a way, you
Yes.
know. And this is just this from, who I've talked to and just some of the family that I have. I think sometimes it's like, well, what about the older folks out there, the senior citizens? And, what's your message to them that maybe for the folks that go, growth isn't for me. I'm happy with where things are at.
Well, yeah, and if they're happy, good for them. Mm-hmm. If there's one little thing that they would like to see change, write it down.
Yeah.
Send it in.
Okay.
I don't care if you're 100 years old and you want a bike path, okay? Write it down.
Well, and going forward too, what is going to be what is really when you're looking at Godfrey, if you could pick anything and wave a magic wand, what would be the first thing you do?
Oh. That's a good question. You've stumped me.
Well, and it's, and I don't mean to.
Because there's so many, because there's so many things that I would like to see done, like right off the bat, that, getting a sidewalk from Del Mar down to La Vista.
Oh, wow.
That was in the either the 2008 or the 2018 comprehensive plan. I have both plans. Yeah, and I've read them. So that was one of them, to complete that to La Vista.
Wow.
One thing that I feel that wasn't thought through completely, which would not be the first thing that I would do, but something I would think down the road, the Fred Woodman walking path.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to cross Del Mar.
It is a little, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't thought through. They should have thought, oh, well, we got to cross Del Mar. Have you ever tried to cross Del Mar? Especially right there?
Not there, but I have. Yeah.
Okay. Big deal. We put up a flashing light that said people crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal. That's not going to slow anybody down. Why didn't they think about putting an overhead bridge, like a steel bridge, like you see on golf courses? A walking bridge across the road. Do that. Add that into the building of this thing. Don't just put it and then park at La Vista and have to cross Del Mar. Don't add any extra parking now because you're like, oh my gosh, we need more parking. Don't try to add more parking across the street because you're probably not going to get any land to build the parking. No. Bless you.
Thank you.
That's just like after the fact things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's build this. Let's hurry up and build this. And it's like, oh, well, wow. We never thought about crossing Del Mar. And then if you have your bike, crossing Del Mar with your bike. Or, a lady with a baby crossing Del Mar with a kid.
I hope not. But, and that's why I really just find it really just fascinating and a really great conversation. And so going forward, you've hit on the trails, you've hit on sidewalks and some of the growth. What is your plan on bringing in business? Do you think that you guys are good with where you're at now? Do you see a chance to bring in some bigger names?
There's a chance to bring in business, but I want business that's not, in Alton.
Yeah.
I want something that is just in our area. Maybe you have something in Edwardsville that you'd like to come to Alton. Okay, great. Or to Godfrey. You have this in Godfrey now. You don't have to drive to Edwardsville. Something like that. We don't need another restaurant that is in Alton and Godfrey. We don't need that. We don't need to be duplicating things. We need to have unique things. But before that, we gotta attract these young families. I grew up in the Charlie Nasello era.
Oh.
And, I mean,
true.
You got to have those young families, and you've got the parks, you've got the great park and rec activities that we have. So, there's plenty to attract them.
Yeah.
So you got to have that. You got to have you got to have enough people that will support a business. And that's another thing. When a business comes here, they're going to look and say, can you support our business? Well, right now, no. You got to get, and not necessarily young families, just get people to move into the area. Get some new homes built.
Yeah.
Do better than 0.8 a month for 2 years.
With that being said, do you have a moment to stick around for your closing thoughts?
Yes.
Hey, we'll take our final break. It's 10:52, a little bit of change on this Tuesday morning. It's 52 degrees in downtown Alton. We'll come back with the closing remarks of candidate for Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes, right after this on RiverBender and Roku TV.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 10:55, little bit of change. We are wrapping up our hour-long conversation with candidate for Village of Godfrey Mayor, Beth Johnes. Man, we had a great segment during the break, but you can't hear that one.
Yeah, that was good.
You know, Beth, this is really, the last couple of minutes are for you. This is a week away. 10:55 on April 1st, people are voting. Number one, before I let you have your closing statement, do you have anything planned for April the 1st?
No, I'm going to vote, but I promised my granddaughter that I would take her to vote with me.
Aww.
Because she wants to vote so bad. She wants to vote for her Nana,
so
and she
cool.
tells everybody to vote for her Nana. So when I get her from school on Tuesday, we're going to go vote.
Man, you're hitting me in the soft spots today, Beth. And so with that being said, what's your closing message to the Village of Godfrey as you're seeking the mayor's seat?
Yeah, well, like I said, I want to get the residents involved. That's my main priority, is to hear from the residents, get them involved, let them know that they actually have a voice and that I will listen to them, that it's not falling on deaf ears. I'd like to be your full-time mayor, helping all of us enjoy a better life and not someone who attends the ribbon cuttings and photo ops. This job is more than a 9-to-5 job. It's a 24/7, and that I am prepared for that. My door will always be open. My phone will always be on, and I will take all your comments. Like I said before, I plan on meeting with the department heads, working on the budget cuts, see where they're not being efficient. Also looking at the excessive wages being paid to the department heads and administrators and asking questions as to why this is so much. Finding the real solution to the residents' needs and to get them off the list. No one gets special treatment because I owe them a favor. I plan on getting personally involved with every complaint, praise, or anything else that concerns the residents of Godfrey. Every election is determined by the people that show up. I challenge all of you to vote on April 1st. Make that vote count and show that you want new leadership. One of the keys to electing good people to office is support those that share your values, and I am that person. As CJ said, early voting is still going on until Friday at the Village Hall until 5 o'clock on Friday. I will always listen to any questions, concerns, and of course, praise.
With that being said, Beth Johnes, I really appreciate your time. we're almost at that hour mark, and it was great to get to know you a little bit more. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity
Thanks
to
for
talk
having
with
me.
you. We'll take a quick break. Remember to vote on April the 1st. I'll come back and wrap up with my rant. You stay there. I'll stay here on Riverbender.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor, Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget. His economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
They couldn't see and they just didn't understand. And looking in the mirror, they were fools at either hand. You shine a little up on my life. You shine a little up on my life. You shine a little up on my life. And let me see.
Welcome back, wrapping up the show with me telling you real quick. Man, allergies are getting bad. Go vote. Go vote. Please go vote.
Have a rash,
Oh,
pink
whoa,
eye, or
whoa,
urinary
whoa, whoa.
tract
I'm talking
infection?
here. Don't send me to another break. Go vote. And I mean that with 100% seriousness. You know, our early voting numbers are just absolutely abysmal, and it's worrying. You know, for so many people that want to talk about national races and all that stuff, I think it's fantastic that you support your president of your choice or your candidate of your choice at the United States Senate and all that. It's important. But this directly impacts you. This has been such a talked about consolidated election on all aspects of the aisle, whether you're talking about mayor seats or aldermanic seats or trustee seats, you name it, you're discussing it. And the thing that bothers me the most is that we'll see people completely whine and complain and nag on social media about problems, but they won't vote. It makes absolutely no sense to me. These same people that are going to be armchairing this election and have armchaired, quarterbacked literally everything, every step of the way, will not vote. Only 500 people have early voted in Alton, and across the county, it's absolutely abysmal. You have got to be active in your community, and I'm not telling you who to vote for. You'll never see me tell you who to vote for, and you'll never hear it from my voice, because that's not my place here. My place is to tell you to be active in your community. That's why we do this show, and we're taking all this time to talk to candidates so you get to know who they are. So many times, we talk to people, and they have no damn clue what the role of an alderman is, what the role of a trustee is, and it's not even sad, it's laughable. But the biggest thing is it puts a bad commercial and a bad personal brand image on the region, because all we do is whine and we complain on social media. We just completely yell about it in public. I'm trying so hard to be appropriate. And we let people know our airing of grievances, but we won't vote. You have got to vote. Voting is running right now until the end of the week at the Scott Bibb Center in Alton, at Village Hall and Godfrey, throughout the Riverbend region. I'm on the county clerk's website now, so you can find those locations. Or if you're going to vote on Election Day, that's fine, but you've got to tell people to vote. You've got to vote. If you want things to stay the same because you're happy with them, God love you. That's your right to do so. If you want to change things, go vote and do so. You know, time and time again, these decisions are going to directly impact you. They're going to directly impact your families. They're going to directly impact your neighbors, and they're going to directly impact the future. This isn't the national election where things trickle down. This is direct high impact on where you live. Everything that you hold near and dear that creates your American dream, from safe roads to safe neighborhoods to low property taxes and an overall great quality of life, is right here in the local election. Last time around, there was right around 4,900 people that voted. I don't have the number in front of me, but that's just what I am, and that's perspective to Alton out of 17,000 voters. I'm saying that here from the Alton side because that's where I live and that's where I can be active, but also from the countywide things. It's literally one of the worst it's been, and it's laughable. I mean, it's laughable, it's sad, and you gotta be active in your community. I mean, seriously, because I'm so tired of seeing these comments from people about how terrible things are, how great things are, and they will not utilize the most powerful tool that we have as people, and that's to exercise your voice and exercise your right to vote. And you can do so now until the end of the week. You can do so on April the 1st. I don't care who you vote for, but vote. And if you're a young person and you think, it's election day, but who cares? I'm telling you, if you're going to let a small group of people make major decisions by having their voice heard over yours, or it could be identical, don't matter, that's where problems start to happen, because a small group of people time and time again decide local elections, and it's your opportunity to make sure that, that's not necessarily the case, and that your voice can truly be heard and change something, especially in an aldermanic race where you can see these things be decided by 20, 50, 30 votes. And it's not just there. It's all across the board, from Granite down to Alton to all the way up down the Riverbend region. You have got to be active in your community. It's the only time I'm ever going to rant about this, but I saw how low early voting numbers were, and it was just absolutely appalling, and we got to change that. We have got to vote, and we'll talk about it more on Wednesday. Until then, have a great rest of your day, but most importantly, just try your best to stay out of jail.